Welcome to Live, Laugh, Talk. I'm your host, James Graham, and it's a privilege to be in your ear. In this episode, we will begin with a topic entitled Maintaining Healthy Habits. Then we will transition to our segment, How Did We Get Here? Followed by our hobbies and special interest section, and then conclude with our sunflower message. If you have any ideas, please send them to us at admin@livelaughtalk.com. That's admin@livelaughtalk.com. In addition, if you're listening on Spotify, please respond to our questions with comments and participate in our poll. Also, wherever it is you listen to the podcast, please hit the follow button so that you are notified of the new episodes when they're released. The topic that we will begin with is entitled Maintaining Healthy Habits. Healthy habits include regular exercise, balanced nutrition, sufficient sleep, and effective stress management. Are you doing these things? Are you being sure to take care of the one life that you have? In addition, you want to have hydration, portion control, and avoid excessive alcohol and tobacco. Cultivating positive social connections and maintaining mental well-being also contribute to an overall healthy lifestyle. Additionally, practicing good hygiene, scheduling regular health checkups, and staying up to date on your vaccinations are essential. You want to limit screen time, foster a positive mindset, and set aside time for relaxation and hobbies, and this will further support your choice of a healthy lifestyle. If you're not doing these things and the others that we will talk about, let's try adopting some of it so that you can find yourself with longevity. More things that we need to do is to prioritize getting sunlight exposure for vitamin D. We want to be mindful of our posture and ergonomics, especially at work, where we tend to lean over and maybe do too much with our back by not having the proper ergonomics. Regularly challenge your mind with activities like reading or puzzles to support cognitive health. Lastly, out of this list, practice gratitude to promote a positive outlook on life. That is so important. We want to be gracious for life itself. We want to be gracious for our friends, family. We want to be gracious for our coworkers and others. We don't want to just wait till a holiday to Thanksgiving to go around and thank everybody. We want to live our life as such every day. We want to also consider incorporating mindful eating habits. Focus on savoring each bite and listen to your body's hunger and fullness cues. Striving for a diverse diet, including a variety of fruits, vegetables, lean proteins, and whole grains, is crucial. Also, practice moderation rather than strict deprivation for a sustainable approach to nutrition. That's moderation over deprivation. Ensure adequate sleep by maintaining a consistent sleep schedule and creating a conducive sleep environment. We want to have maybe white noise in our room, not TVs, not anything with blue light glaring at us. In addition, let's develop time management skills to reduce stress and avoid procrastination, which could affect our sleep. And if we set realistic goals and break them into smaller, achievable tasks, we will find less stress buildup. Regularly reassess and adjust your habits to align with your evolving health and wellness needs. Cultivate a supportive social network, as relationships play a crucial role in mental and emotional well-being. If we foster a positive mindset by practicing self compassion and also gratitude, we will find ourselves even happier. And don't forget to stay informed about health related topics and consult healthcare professionals for personalized advice. Continuous learning and adaptability are key components of a resilient and healthy lifestyle. Let's explore different forms of physical activity to keep things interesting and target various muscle groups. I know for me, running outside is ideal. Even when the weather changes, it's a little cooler, or if it's hot, a little warm, I like to run outside. That physical activity keeps it interesting. If I get on a treadmill, for some reason, I'm tired before I can even take a few steps. It's because my mind is not moved. It's not interesting. But when I'm outside, it's a joy. And as mentioned before, we want to make sure that we are consistent with these habits because consistency is more impactful than occasional intense efforts. Let's embrace a holistic approach, addressing physical, mental, and emotional aspects for a well rounded sense of health. We too can take in relaxation techniques, such as deep breathing or progressive muscle relaxation, into our daily routine to manage our stress. Set aside time for hobbies. We talk about them on every show. Let's aside time for that and activities that bring us joy, promoting a balanced and fulfilling life. Regularly assess your goals and adjust them as needed to ensure that they align with your evolving priorities and values. Let's embrace a proactive approach to preventative health care, including regular health screenings and vaccinations. I know that I had to do this. I just went for a regular checkup, and I come to find out that there were some serious things that we need to take care of. If I hadn't gone in for that checkup, it would have definitely gotten worse and could have cost me my life. Let's be mindful of our digital well being, managing screen time and taking breaks to reduce eye strain while prioritizing time for self reflection and personal growth, fostering a sense of purpose, fulfillment in our lives. And something that we might not think about is practicing financial health by budgeting, saving, and making informed spending decisions. If we establish healthy boundaries in our relationships to ensure a supportive and respectful environment, we will have a beautiful social life as well. Lastly, let's celebrate our achievements, both big and small, to reinforce positive behaviors and maintain motivation on our journey to our overall well being. Let's not forget nature. Spend time outdoors because, as it used to be said, let's take time to smell the roses. That's important. We want to prioritize regular dental checkups and oral hygiene, as well as stay informed about mental health resources and make sure that every part of our life is fulfilling and balanced. Let's engage in learning continuously to stimulate our minds and adapt to new challenges. Fostering a sense of community by volunteering or participating in activities that align with our interests will also help us to lead to a healthy, happy life. Stay attuned to your body's signals and make adjustments to your habits as needed, recognizing that well being is an ongoing and evolving process. Practice resilience in the face of setbacks and learn from challenges rather than viewing them as failures. Surround yourself with positive influences and people, drawing your support network during your most difficult times. Regularly reassess your goals, ensuring they reflect your values and aspirations. This adaptability contributes to your fulfilling lifestyle and will make things more sustainable. You know what? If we have a good laugh, explore the benefits of just good humor, it can be a powerful stress reliever. Yes, let's make sure that we take in joy, laugh sometimes, watch some comedy, be around some of our friends that have humor. And that's about our long term well being as well. In conclusion, maintaining healthy habits involves a holistic approach encompassing physical, mental, and emotional well being. Consistency, adaptability, and self compassion are crucial. By fostering positive habits, embracing a balanced lifestyle, and staying connected to our needs, we can cultivate a sustainable foundation for lifelong health and fulfillment. In this How Did We Get Here segment, we will discuss undiagnosed and untreated mental health. In any given year, it's estimated that 1 in 5 Americans will experience a mental illness. This means that someone you know, and potentially someone you love, is struggling with their mental health. And by saying 1 in 5 Americans, what are we talking about? We're talking about approximately 42 million people. Mental illness is spread, yet it often is overlooked. It's considered a silent disease, as many people struggle alone and do not ask for help. It's easy for symptoms of depression, anxiety, and other mental health conditions to go unnoticed or unaddressed. In fact, the World Health Organization estimates that close to 2/3 of mental illnesses go untreated. Most cases even go undiagnosed. As stated, 2/3 of people globally do not seek health treatments for their mental conditions. In the United States, over 54% of adults do not receive treatment for their mental illness. 54%. We're talking the high millions, almost 80 million. For those who do not, in fact, receive treatment, the delay between symptom onset and first treatment is long. An estimated 11-year gap, to be exact. This means most people struggling with mental illness for over a decade before they get the help they need. It's important to note that these statistics are only relevant to people with known disorders. Too often, mental illness goes undiagnosed. And this is a difficult thing to put a number on. It's frankly unclear how many people are out there struggling with mental health symptoms but unaware or unsure of how to get the proper support. We do know, however, that more than 50% of people will be diagnosed with a mental illness at some point in their lifetime, which equates to more than 166 million Americans. These are harrowing statistics, but there's good news. When mental health conditions are recognized and diagnosed, they're manageable and they're treatable. So the question is, why does mental health go undiagnosed oftentimes? Well, most mental illnesses begin during the teenage years, with a majority of cases emerging by age 24. Because mental illness typically affects young people, the symptoms often get masked as hormonal, adolescent behavior, or mismarked as just a phase that teens are going through. For example, mood swings are common during adolescence, but also can be indicators of bipolar disorder. Sleeping late or lack of motivation may seem common in teenagers, but can also signal depression. Substance use is common in young adulthood, but can also be used to hide or cope with negative thoughts and feelings. As you can see, it's hard to distinguish the line between typical struggles and mental health symptoms. This is just one of the many reasons why mental illness might go untreated or undiagnosed, and sometimes the reason lies in a person being afraid or ashamed or unsure of how to even seek help. Some of the most common barriers to mental health treatment include the fear of what others might think, feeling too ashamed or embarrassed to get help, disbelief that one's symptoms are bad enough to seek treatment, inability to put their career, school, or family obligations on hold, a lack of insurance, and unable to afford the costs of mental health care. Maybe there's lack of awareness that one is struggling with mental health and needs help altogether. What is the impact of untreated mental illness? Although it is a common occurrence, untreated mental illness is extremely dangerous. Mental health conditions that are left unaddressed can lead to life threatening symptoms and poor quality of life. In addition, it can have a greater socioeconomic impact on the country as a whole. The National Alliance on Mental Health estimates that untreated mental illness costs the United States up to $300 billion every year due to losses in productivity. Outside of the cost, however, let's consider the immediate dangers of undiagnosed mental illness. When mental illness is left untreated, symptoms are bound to get worse. What starts as mood swings can over time turn into violent behaviors, persistent sadness, and the unwillingness to live. A budding anxiety disorder can lead to social withdrawal and isolation, paranoia, and panic attacks. Unaddressed trauma can lead to disassociation, painful flashbacks, insomnia, and self harm. And these are just some of the many examples. When mental illness symptoms are exacerbated over time, many people will attempt to self medicate through drugs, alcohol. This can spiral into dangerous substance abuse, addiction, and potentially overdose. Untreated mental illness can also trigger other risky behaviors like driving under the influence, unprotected sex, fighting and violence, and getting in trouble with the law. Many untreated mental health disorders can also trigger suicidal thoughts and attempts at self harm. In fact, roughly half of people who die by suicide had a known diagnosed mental illness. This statistic is likely understated as it does not account for undiagnosed mental health issues. How can we detect the signs of an undiagnosed mental illness? Well, there could be symptoms that could be easily missed. Therefore, if you are concerned about your loved one or a parent of a growing teen, it's important to pay attention. You want to know the signs of mental illness, as this could put your loved one closer to a diagnosis and closer to a productive and satisfying life. Remember, mental health disorders are treatable and manageable with the right treatment plan in place. However, in order to receive this treatment, you got to know which signs to be aware of. If, for instance, you have anxiety disorders, oftentimes there's low energy, poor concentration, irritability, restlessness, trouble sleeping. Depression could be persistent feelings of sadness and hopelessness, lack of energy or excessive tiredness, little to no pleasure derived from once loved activities, withdrawal from family and friends. And all of these are just examples, but there's much more if you begin to look these things up online. Bipolar disorder could be extreme mood swings, uncontrollable highs and lows, frequent disobedience, intense temper tantrums, aggression, loss of touch with reality. Obsessive compulsive disorder, repeated disturbing thoughts, obsessions over what seems to be meaningless or irrational things, ritualized behaviors that a person feels compelled to do, strong aversion to germs, dirt and dust, or even certain foods and environments. Social isolation. Post traumatic stress disorder could be reoccurring, disturbing flashbacks, repeated nightmares, the inability to cope with difficult situations and stress effectively. Attention deficit or hyperactivity disorder could be struggles at school, inability to sit still or pay attention, absent mindedness, difficulty completing tasks, excessive talking, often interrupting others. Just some of the examples of the many signs and symptoms to watch for in your loved one. These could be the red flags that could cause you to help your loved one get diagnosed. And if they're exhibiting any of the treatment, any of these symptoms, they should seek treatment. It's never too early to seek therapy or support for a mental health condition, but it can definitely be too late because untreated mental illness can be life threatening. Let's say that again. Untreated mental illnesses can be life threatening. As stated by the National Alliance on Mental Illness, untreated mental health conditions can result in unnecessary disability, unemployment, substance abuse, homelessness, inappropriate incarceration, and suicide. Also, poor quality of life. So let's take the steps to get our loved one on the right track and take the steps to get our loved one the diagnosis that they deserve and help them to reach a path towards recovery. You can always turn to a treatment provider for adolescents, young ones, and others. There's a number I'm going to give you. It's called 877-581-1793. That's 877-581-1793. Here you can go for support for your loved one, or your loved one themselves can call. Yet with so many people, we're talking about 166 million people possibly undiagnosed and ultimately untreated, the question remains, how did we get here? Engaging in science fiction as a hobby offers a fascinating escape into imaginative worlds. Whether through books, movies, or games, it allows exploration of speculative ideas and futuristic concepts. This hobby not only provides entertainment, but also encourages creative thinking and often offers insights into potential future technologies and societal shifts. In addition, it can make one awfully rich if you could write it. I know growing up as an observer of science fiction, I fell in love with many shows and movies. I was an avid Star Wars fan. And even though people would come up to me and say, hey, do you like Star Wars? Are you a Trekkie? Not really a Trekkie, but I'm not opposed. I love several Star Trek movies and shows, even though I'm more of a Star Wars fan. But I have to say, if I had to put any Star Wars film up against the Wrath of Khan, it would lose. I know a lot of you out there may disagree, but the Wrath of Khan was my movie. If you immerse yourself in science fiction, it can also foster a sense of wonder, possibilities of the universe. It connects enthusiasts globally, creating a vibrant community that shares a passion for the genre. Additionally, exploring diverse sci-fi works exposes you to various perspectives, sparking thought-provoking discussions about the implications of technology, the nature of humanity, and the potential of trajectories of our future. Furthermore, science fiction can be a source of inspiration for those interested in science and technology. Many innovations and advancements in these fields have been influenced by ideas initially conceived in sci-fi literature, films. Also, this as a hobby encourages critical thinking, stimulates the imagination, and often prompts reflection on ethical and philosophical questions. It's a rich and dynamic realm that offers endless opportunities for exploration and enjoyment. Engaging in science fiction as a hobby can also be a creative outlet, whether through writing your own speculative stories, creating art inspired future concepts, or even participating in fan communities. It provides a platform for self expression. Have you seen individuals at Comic Con dressed like science fiction characters? Yes, the diversity within the genre allows enthusiasts to find their own interests, to align themselves with their interests, be it space exploration, dystopian futures, cutting edge technology. Yes, it's a hobby that evolves with the ever expanding landscape of ideas and narratives in the world of science fiction. Moreover, participating in science fiction communities introduces you to like minded individuals who may share your passion, like at Comic Con. The sense of camaraderie within the sci fi community often extends beyond the fictional realms, creating a supportive and dynamic social environment for enthusiasts. As technology continues to advance, the intersection of science fiction and reality becomes increasingly intriguing. Following developments in science and technology allows hobbyists to witness how certain speculative concepts become tangible innovations. And this dynamic relationship between fiction and reality adds an extra layer of excitement to the hobby, making it not just a form of entertainment, but a continual exploration of the potential that lies ahead for all of us in the future. In conclusion, embracing science fiction provides a multifaceted experience from escapism to intellectual stimulation, creativity to community building. Whether you're delving into the classics, binge watching the latest sci fi series, or engaging in discussions about futuristic possibilities, the world of science fiction offers a rich and ever expanding universe for exploration and enjoyment. It's a hobby that not only entertains, but also sparks curiosity, fosters creativity, and connects individuals through shared fascinations with the wonders of the unknown. Our sunflower message will be a song. Life is a song worth living. It was sung by Teddy Pendergrass, written by Linda Creed and Tom Bell. Life is a song worth singing. Why don't you sing? Life is a song worth singing. You hold the key in the palm of your hand. Use it. Don't blame your life on the master plan. Change it. Only you generate the power to decide what to do with your life. You're a fool if you think you're helpless. You control what you do with your life. Yes, life is a song worth singing. Why don't you sing? Don't like the way you're living? Too bad. Can't change your life because it's out of your hands? So sad. So you sit on your pants and holler because the world ain't been treating you right? Don't you know you contain the power to control destiny with your mind? You control what you do with your life. Hey, you're the fool if you think you're helpless. Can't change your life because it's out of your hands? So sad. No, you got the power. Use it. You got to control destiny with your mind. Right here, right now. You decide what to do with your life because life is a song worth singing. On Cash App, $ Live Laugh Talk. On Twitter, at Live Laugh Talker. On your podcast platform, you can also donate to support the podcast. We appreciate any donation, and it's only used for the furtherance of the podcast. Also remember to rate us the highest you can on your podcast platform and tell your friends, family, and colleagues about us. Also go to Etsy and search How Did We Get Here? Live Laugh Talk. Possibly my name. Either one that you can remember, and you will see our merchandise as well. This is James and Georgia's baby boy signing off. And as you know, I can't wait to talk with you again soon.